Hi guys, so this is the second library for visualization, which we call Seaborn. So Seaborn is a library for visualizing on Python, but it works together with Matplotlib. So that is why you are seeing me importing this Matplotlib again, because it works together with Seaborn. So yeah, I'm importing Seaborn as SNS. So Seaborn is now standing as SNS. Then this is the table, the data set we are working with, and the sheet name is practice. So the reason why I added this option here is because, let me just show you. So can you see? So this is the data set. This row one here is supposed to be the column headers, but it's standing as a row. So that was why I passed in the header arguments, that header equals to. So I'm making the information at row 2, that's 1, 2, as my column header. So there you have it. So this NaN actually means not a number. If you are importing a file from Excel that has a empty column, it's going to come out here as NaN on Python. But you can actually delete that column if you don't want it. So total sales by item, we are asked to get the total sales by item. So these are the item type. I want to get the total sales by item. So, if it was Matplotlib, we are going to be using the group by to group the item types together as one. But here in Seaborn helps us group it automatically. We don't need to go through the process of grouping it ourselves again. So to do that, we are going to say SNS dot what's it called? SNS dot the chart name, which is bar plots. Then you are going to pass in the x-axis, which is item type. I think it's written this way. The y-axis is now going to be item outlet sales. This is the sales you have here. We copy. Then it's also going to take in the data itself. So the Seaborn takes in the x-axis, the y-axis, and the data itself. So data equals to the name of my data now is, the name of the chart now is pivot. My variable name is pivot. So I'll pass in pivot. I assign this old data to a variable called pivot. So that is what my data is going to take in. Then let's run it. Let's see. So can you see? So here also, you can also increase the fig size, but it is different from the way we do it on Matplotlib. So for this one, you say plot dot figure fig size equals to, let's say, 10,7 plt dot show, to get rid of these things here. So let's run it. So can you see? Let me increase the stuff very well. It's still not showing clearly. So let's just use, let's hit 17. 17 is still not showing properly. So you just continue increasing the font size for the, okay, I think it's better now. So this is how you increase your fig size, your height and width in Seaborn. So that is just the difference between Matplotlib and Seaborn. Matplotlib doesn't group itself, but Seaborn groups it automatically. And the way you increase your width and height on Matplotlib is different from the way you increase it here. This is the way you increase it here. And the Seaborn takes in the x arguments, the y-axis, and the data. Please take note of that. So that is for the total sales by item type. So total unit price by item type, I'm just going to copy. You can also give it a title. You can just come in and say plt.title. So then give it total sales by item types. Yeah. So for the total unit price by item type, let me copy the syntax in. Although the best tool for visualization is still Power BI, that is still the best tool for visualization. So this is total unit price by item type. So I'm going to change this one to unit price, not item outlet sales. So we have the unit price column. Then this one will be total unit price by item type. Unit price by item type. So let's just plot a box plot. I'm also going to send the types of charts you can plot with Seaborn. But the one I'm using are the most interpretable ones. What's the error here? Okay. Listen. Something is wrong here. X equals to unit price. Is there anything like unit price here? Okay, you don't have unit price. So I think we are still going to be using the item outlet sales. Oh, let's check again. Let me call out the column. That's pivots dot columns. So we don't have unit price. So let's just work with, let's get the total sales by outlet type. Total sales by outlet type instead of item type. So we have different outlet types also. So we have the supermarket type 1, we have type 2, we have different outlets type here. So let's get the total sales we made in each outlet. So I'm just going to come here and change my x-axis to outlet type. Then this one is going to be item outlet sales. Item outlet sales. Then it's means taking the data argument. And this is the total price, total sales by outlet types. Total sales by outlet types. So this is the box plot. So you can also increase the size, the height, and the width. So plt.figure, fit size equals to, let's say, 10,6. So this is the total outlets, total sales by outlets. Total sales by outlets. So we also have what we call swarm. We have what we call swarm plots. We have what we call strip plots. But the ones that are actually most interpretable are the ones I'm using. Let's run it. See the results for this swarm plot. We have swarm plots, we have strip plots, we have box plots. We have a lot of plots to under Seaborn. So this is what the swarm plot looks like. Can you see that it is not very interpretable? The only chart interpretable here on Seaborn is still the box plot, the bar plot, I guess. Yes. Let me just change it to bar and bar plot. So I think there's also what we call this argument EU. So this EU is just like a legend. It's going to show the legend. So this is what the EU works for. It's going to show the legend for each outlet type. So this is total sales by outlet type. So we also said we should bring out the total sales by outlet location. Outlet location. So let me copy the syntax. Or let me copy the query first. Instead of me rewriting it, let me copy the query here. Then outlet location type. Then I'll write outlets location type. Then that's this one. Let's change it to, don't let me add you to this one. This is total sales by outlets. Total sales by outlets location types. Let's use box plots. Box plots. So this is the total sales by outlets location type. Tier 3 is giving us the highest sales, followed by tier 2, then tier 1. So this is just how you make use of the Seaborn chart. There's nothing deep about it, nothing much. And we also have what we call subplots. So this subplot allows you to draw multiple plots in a figure. It allows you to draw multiple plots in a figure, and it depends on the layout you want it to be. So now this subplot takes in 3 arguments that describe the layout of the figure. The layout is organized in rows and columns and are represented by the first and second argument. The third argument represents the index of the current plot. Then the figure has 1 row, 2 columns, and this plot is the first one. I'm going to explain this part when I start plotting the graph. So what I want to do now is I want to group all these charts I created into a single figure. So now it now depends on the layout you want it to come out, you want it to be. So now this plt.subplot 2, 2, 1 means I want the layout to be in 2 rows. In 2 rows, 2 columns, and the first chart. So this is what I mean by that. I'm going to copy the syntax for my first chart. Where's the first chart I created? I'm going to copy just this line alone, Ctrl C. I'll paste it here. The second chart I plot, this is it. I'm going to copy just this line. I'll paste it here. Then for the third one, I'm going to copy that line and paste it here. So I'm trying to group all those charts into a single figure. Then I'm calling out plt.show. Let me run it so you can see what I mean by that. Still loading. So this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to group everything into one. So this 2, 2, the first 2 is standing for columns. So this is column 1 and this is column 2. Then the second one is standing for row. I want to have 2 rows. So this is row 1 and this is row 2. So it actually depends on the kind of layout you want your chart to have. If you want it to come out with 3 columns, you are going to pass in 3, 2, 1. So you're going to have 1, 2, and 3. You're going to have 1 column. This is a single column. This is another column, and this is another column. If it is 3, 2, you have. So, but me, I'm using the 2, 2 layout. That is 2 rows and 2 columns and 2 rows. If I plot another chart here, I'm just going to copy. Let me plot another chart. That's plt.subplot. Then 2, 2, 4. Let me just copy this one here and paste it here. So this one is now going to come out here. So let's run it. So now this is the type of layout I want. This is 2 rows and 2 columns, 2 rows. So the 1 there means plot the first chart. The 2 here means plot the second chart. The 3 here means plot the third chart. The 4 here means plot the fourth chart. So now the layout I have here is 2 rows, 2 columns, and 2 rows. Let's say I have another another chart I want to plot. I need to change my layout to, if I want it to come down here again, I have to change it to 3 rows because this is now row 1, row 2. I'm trying to plot another graph here. So this is now going to be 3. So I'll now change this one to 3. That will be 2 columns, 3 rows, 2 column, 3 rows, 2 column, 3 rows, because the 2, 2 will not make us plot the 5th one. So we have to change the layout to the type of layout we want. So let's run it now. So let's see. Okay, I didn't change this one to 5. So can you see? Okay, sorry. I changed the row, the row instead of column. So this is supposed to be 3 column, 3, not 2. Because you can actually leave it like that, so but the kind of format I want is I want it to appear as 3 columns, 2 rows, 3 columns, 2 rows, not 2 columns, 2 rows. Do you get 3 columns, 2 rows? Now this is what I want. So I now have um 3 rows, then 2 columns, 3 rows, then 2 columns. But if you have more than 4 columns, your chart is going to be very tiny. So the highest I do is just 4 charts, so it can be more visible and readable. The highest I do is just, so let me change it to the normal layout. That's 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, then 2, 2, 4. So this is, we have 2 rows and 2 columns. So that is it for subplots. That is just all about subplots. So I'll see you today. I'll see you in the next class.